You open your eyes, and before your feet hit the floor, there it is, that dull, dragging heaviness in your legs. They feel stiff, disconnected. Walking to the bathroom feels like a slow, uphill hike. You sigh and tell yourself, this is what getting older feels like. But what if that's not the full story? What if the weakness in your legs isn't just normal aging? What if something far more silent is going on, a daily mistake that's slowly shutting down communication between your muscles and your brain? Here's the truth. Millions of older adults aren't losing strength because of age. They're losing it because of muscle undernourishment, poor timing, and habits no one ever told them were harmful. And the most powerful part, correcting just one of these habits starting today could flip the switch, restoring energy balance and mobility you thought were long gone. This isn't a fitness commercial, and I'm not here to sell you another supplement or miracle shake. What you're about to learn comes straight from decades of peer-reviewed research, quietly confirmed by doctors at places like Harvard Medical School and the Mayo Clinic. Inside this video, you'll discover a single daily habit, often overlooked, almost never mentioned by doctors, that has the power to reactivate muscle growth, restore coordination, and bring back leg strength in people well into their 70s and 80s. No gym membership, no heavy lifting, just biology done right. And that's just the beginning. I'll walk you through 6 more science-based habits used by a group of older adults researchers call superagers, people in their 80s who move, lift, and live like they're in their 40s. These aren't feel-good tips. These are measurable shifts in strength, balance, and quality of life. Stick with me until the end, because the final habit I'll show you is one you've probably been doing wrong for years. Fixing it might just change everything. Habit 1. Progressive resistance training, the ultimate anti-aging medicine. Let's start with what researchers call the most powerful tool in the fight against aging. It's not a pill. It's not a superfood. It's something your body already knows how to do, and it's been waiting for you to begin. Progressive resistance training. Now, don't let the name intimidate you. This doesn't mean lifting heavy weights at the gym or pushing yourself until you collapse. In fact, the most successful seniors, the ones who've regained strength, balance, and independence, are doing it with simple movements, light resistance, and consistency. Here's the problem. Most older adults are told to walk more or take it easy. But walking, while great for your heart, isn't enough to rebuild lost muscle mass. After the age of 60, your body needs a stronger signal, a reason to hold on to strength. And that signal comes from something called momentary muscular failure, the point where your muscles are challenged just enough to spark growth. You don't have to train like an athlete, but you do have to progress slowly, increasing the resistance over time. Studies from McMaster University and the University of Alabama show that seniors in their 70s and 80s who engaged in controlled resistance training gained up to 3.3 pounds of muscle and increased their strength by 35% in just 12 weeks. So, how does it work? First, you start with compound movements. These are exercises that work multiple muscles at once. Think squats, even using a chair wall, push-ups, light rows with bands, or standing resistance band presses. These movements don't just build muscle, they stimulate hormone release, improve coordination, and fire up the nervous system. Second, you focus on eccentric control. That means emphasizing the lowering phase of each movement. Slowly lowering your body or a weight creates more tension in the muscle with less stress on the joints. It's safer and incredibly effective for older adults. Third, you apply the principle of progressive overload. That simply means you increase difficulty slightly over time, whether that's adding one more rep, one more second of hold, or using a slightly stronger resistance band. Your body adapts, so the goal is to keep it gently adapting, not staying still. Now here's what most people get wrong. They think using light weights forever is safe, but using the same resistance over and over leads to a slow decline. Muscles are like memory, use it or lose it. And just like the brain, they thrive on being challenged appropriately. You might be wondering, isn't this dangerous for someone my age? Actually, the opposite is true. Not doing resistance training is more dangerous because the longer your muscles go unused, the faster you lose mobility, stability, and your ability to stay independent. When done correctly with proper form, rest between sessions, and personalized intensity, resistance training is not just safe, it's essential. Start with 2 sessions per week, just 20 to 30 minutes. Use your bodyweight resistance bands or light dumbbells. Focus on form, not speed. And write it down. Track your progress even if it's just going from 5 reps to 6. That's growth. That's momentum. By week 4, many older adults report standing up from chairs, more easily climbing stairs without holding rails, and regaining the kind of confidence that changes everything. So if you only implement one habit from this video, let it be this one. Because muscle is not just about strength, it's about freedom. Habit 2, neuromuscular connection. Strength starts in the brain. Most people think muscle loss begins in the body. But science tells a different story. For many older adults, the first signs of weakness aren't about muscle size at all. They're about communication. Specifically the communication between your nerves and muscles. This link is called the neuromuscular junction. It's where your brain sends electrical signals to your muscle fibers telling them when and how to contract. But as you age, those signals weaken. The messages get fuzzy. Your brain may be trying to say, stand up, but your legs don't hear it as clearly anymore. This is why some seniors feel disconnected from their body. Their balance feels off, their stride shortens, their reactions slow, but it's not just wear and tear, it's signal loss. Research from the University of Michigan found that healthy seniors who maintained strong neuromuscular junctions could preserve strength, power, and mobility far better than their peers, even if their muscle size wasn't that different. The good news: there are specific ways to strengthen and preserve these connections, and they don't involve lifting weights. The first is to engage in coordination-based movement, activities that require timing, balance, and precision. Think Tai Chi, dance, table tennis, even juggling or playing catch. These movements light up the nervous system, challenging it to speak more clearly to your muscles. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Physiology showed that seniors who did coordination-based activities twice per week had 31% better preservation of neuromuscular junctions than those who only walked or lifted weights. The second tool, breathing practices. Yes, breathing. Controlled breathing, such as box breathing, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4. Exhale for 4, hold for 4, stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps regulate neuromuscular function. Practicing this for just 5 minutes a day can improve focus, calm the nervous system, and enhance muscle activation. Third, support your brain-muscle connection nutritionally. 2 compounds stand out: alpha-lipoic acid, acetyl-L-carnitine. Both have been shown to protect nerve cells and improve the signaling process between nerves and muscles. Additionally, a specific form of vitamin B1 called benfotiamine helps enhance the production of acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter your brain uses to activate muscle fibers. And don't overlook mental exercise. Your brain needs reps too. Activities like crossword puzzles, learning a new language, or even playing strategy games can strengthen shared pathways between cognitive function and muscle control. A landmark study from Columbia University found that seniors who engaged regularly in cognitive tasks not only preserved brain health but also had significantly better lower body strength and balance. Why? Because thinking and moving are deeply connected neurologically and physically. Here's what many people don't realize. You can do all the strength training in the world, but if your neuromuscular system isn't firing properly, those muscles won't respond. You won't feel confident in your movements. You won't trust your balance, and your risk of falling increases. That's why preserving neuromuscular health isn't optional, it's foundational. So how do you start? Pick one coordination activity just once or twice per week. Add 5 minutes of breathing daily. Consider asking your doctor about adding alpha-lipoic acid or benfotiamine if appropriate. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. Your stride will feel smoother. Your balance will return. And most of all, you'll feel more connected not just to your body, but to your life. Because strength isn't just in the muscles, it's in the connection between mind and body. Habit 3. Micronutrient power, fueling the machinery. We often hear about the importance of protein, carbs, and fats, the macronutrients. But what many seniors don't realize is that macronutrients are only half the story. Without the right micronutrients, your body simply can't process what you eat, and your muscles pay the price. Think of it like this: protein is the raw material, but micronutrients are the tools. Without the tools, the raw material just sits there, unused, wasted. Let's talk about the most overlooked tools your muscles need. Magnesium is the first. Over 70% of seniors are deficient, and that's no small issue. Magnesium supports over 300 enzymatic processes, many directly involved in muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and energy production. A recent study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with optimal magnesium levels had 30% greater grip strength and better physical performance overall. But here's the catch: not all magnesium supplements work. Look for magnesium glycinate, which is gentle on digestion and highly bioavailable. Next up is creatine. You may associate it with bodybuilders, but in truth, it's one of the most researched and effective nutrients for older adults. Creatine helps your muscles produce quick energy. And in seniors, it's been shown to improve muscle strength, endurance, and even cognitive performance. One study from McMaster University showed that seniors who took 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day, combined with light training, saw significantly higher gains in muscle and mental clarity than training alone. Then there's vitamin B12, specifically methylated B12. As we age, our stomach acid naturally decreases, which dramatically reduces B12 absorption. Worse yet, common medications like metformin for diabetes and proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux further block B12 uptake. A B12 deficiency can lead to fatigue, poor muscle activation, balance issues, and even neurological damage. That's why superagers often supplement with methylcobalamin, the active ready-to-use form, rather than the cheaper and less absorbable cyanocobalamin found in standard multivitamins. Now let's talk trace minerals, the supporting cast your body desperately needs. Zinc, selenium, and chromium might not sound exciting, but they play a crucial role in muscle repair, insulin sensitivity, and protein synthesis. Without them, your muscle-building efforts stall, no matter how well you eat or train. A comprehensive 5-year study from Tufts University showed that older adults with optimal levels of these trace minerals retained up to 22% more muscle mass compared to those with deficiencies, even with similar diets and exercise habits. So how do you put this into practice? Start by upgrading your multivitamin, or better yet, get a micronutrient blood panel to see exactly what you're lacking. You don't need to guess. Then supplement wisely. Focus on forms your body can absorb, not just what's cheapest. Here's a simple daily micronutrient stack used by many superagers. Magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligallon daily. Creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams. Methylated B12. 1000 mcg, especially if vegan or on reflux meds. A high-quality multivitamin with bioavailable zinc, selenium, and chromium. And finally, let your food do some of the work too. Leafy greens like spinach and chard for magnesium, eggs, beef and liver for B12, Brazil nuts for selenium. Dark chocolate for magnesium and mood, pumpkin seeds for zinc. Your muscles are more than just protein-hungry engines. They are biochemical machines, and like any machine, they need the right parts, fuel, and maintenance to run efficiently. You could be eating plenty of protein. You could be exercising regularly. But if you're missing the key micronutrients, your results will be slow-limited, maybe even non-existent. The good news: with just a few smart changes, you can fuel the engine, wake your muscles up again, and start to feel stronger from the inside out. Habit 4. Inflammation control, the silent muscle killer. What if the biggest threat to your muscles wasn't lack of exercise, but a fire burning inside you that you can't even feel? That fire is called chronic low-grade inflammation. And it's one of the most overlooked reasons older adults lose strength, stamina, and independence. Doctors now call it inflammaging, the slow, silent damage caused by unchecked inflammation that builds up over time. It doesn't hurt. You don't feel sick. But deep inside, it's disrupting how your muscles grow, recover, and even respond to protein and exercise. Here's what happens. Inflammation triggers the release of cytokines molecules that actually block muscle protein synthesis. Even if you eat the right foods or train consistently, these inflammatory signals can cancel out your progress. And worse, they accelerate muscle breakdown, making it nearly impossible to maintain strength. A landmark study from Tufts University found that seniors with the highest inflammation markers lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with the lowest, even when both groups followed similar diets and exercise routines. So how do superagers keep inflammation in check? They focus on 4 core areas that most seniors overlook. 1. Deep restorative sleep. Sleep isn't just for rest, it's for repair. During sleep, your body releases anti-inflammatory hormones and repairs muscle tissue. Missing even a few hours per night causes inflammatory markers to spike sometimes by 40% or more. Superagers make sleep a priority. They keep their rooms dark, cool, and quiet. No screens an hour before bed, no late-night snacks or stimulants. And they aim for 7 to 8 hours of consistent quality sleep every night. 2. A healthy gut equals lower inflammation. Most people don't realize this, but over 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, and the health of your gut microbiome directly impacts inflammation. As we age, our gut bacteria become less diverse, and that can lead to systemic inflammation. Superagers combat this by eating a diverse range of fiber-rich plants, aiming for 30-plus different fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, and seeds every week. They also include fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, yogurt, and miso, which help reseed the gut with healthy probiotics. 3. Smarter exercise, not just more. Yes, movement matters, but here's something surprising. Too much high-intensity exercise can actually increase inflammation in older adults, especially when the body isn't given enough recovery. Superagers stay active most days, but at a moderate intensity. Think brisk walking, swimming, cycling, resistance band work. Then just once or twice a week, they include short bursts of intensity, like a hill walk interval swim or quick set of squats. They listen to their bodies. They don't grind through pain. And they rest when needed, because recovery is when the gains actually happen. 4. Anti-inflammatory nutrition. This is where the real power lies. Certain foods can calm inflammation while others ignite it. Here's what superagers include in their daily routines. Omega-3 fatty acids, 2 to 3 grams daily from wild-caught salmon sardines or purified supplements. Turmeric with black pepper to activate curcumin's anti-inflammatory effects. Green tea packed with EGCG, a compound that reduces oxidative stress. Berries loaded with polyphenols that protect muscle and brain cells. Extra virgin olive oil, a staple in anti-inflammatory diets for a reason. And here's what they avoid or strictly limit. Refined sugars, processed seed oils like corn, soy, and canola, overcooked or charred meats, excessive alcohol. Finally, they track their progress. One of the most accurate ways to measure chronic inflammation is a simple blood test. High-sensitivity C-reactive protein, HSCRP. Superagers usually maintain levels under 1.0 mg/L. The average older adult, between 3 to 5 or higher. It's a silent fire. You won't see it. You won't feel it. But it's burning away your strength if you don't put it out. The good news. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just start with one change. Better sleep, more fiber. A tablespoon of olive oil a day. Over time, these small shifts add up to something much bigger. Less inflammation, more muscle, greater resilience. Because strong muscles aren't just built in the gym, they're protected by every choice you make, even at the dinner table. Habit 5. Vitamin D optimization, the forgotten muscle nutrient. Vitamin D isn't just for bones, it's a muscle activator. Over 80% of seniors are deficient, and that deficiency silently weakens strength, balance, and coordination. Your muscles have vitamin D receptors that trigger muscle protein synthesis. Without enough, your body struggles to maintain or build muscle, even if you're eating well and staying active. Most adults need 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day of vitamin D3 to reach optimal levels 40 to 60 ml. But vitamin D works best when combined with vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium to your bones, not your arteries. Here's how to start. Get a blood test to check your D levels. Supplement with D3 plus K2 if low. Eat fatty fish, eggs, and fermented foods. Get 15 minutes of sunlight when possible. With the right levels, seniors experience stronger muscles, fewer falls, and better mobility. It's one of the simplest, safest ways to support long-term strength. Habit 6. Protein timing. It's not just what, but when you eat. Most seniors focus on how much protein they eat, but timing is just as important. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein, a condition called anabolic resistance. That means if you eat all your protein at dinner like most people do, your muscles miss out on multiple chances to grow and recover during the day. Here's the solution. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It doesn't have to be complicated. Breakfast eggs, Greek yogurt, or a smoothie. Lunch and dinner, lean meat, fish, beans, tofu, or lentils. Evenly spacing protein helps stimulate muscle protein synthesis 3 times a day instead of just once. In one study, seniors who followed this pattern gained more muscle without changing anything else in their lifestyle. Avoid skipping breakfast and don't rely on dinner alone to make up for the day. Your muscles respond to signals, and protein, when timed right, is one of the strongest signals your body has to stay strong and rebuild. Feed your muscles throughout the day, not just when it's convenient, because when it comes to strength, timing is everything. Habit 7. Hormetic stress. Using controlled stress to grow stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Turns out it's biologically true. Hormetic stress is the process of using small, controlled stressors to activate the body's repair and growth systems. And it's one of the secret tools superagers use to stay sharp and strong. First, there's temperature variation. Ending your shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water or using a sauna 3-4 times a week activates heat shock proteins and brown fat, both of which help preserve and rebuild muscle. Second, try intermittent fasting. Eating within an 8 to 10 hour window gives your body time to trigger autophagy, your internal cleanup system, which improves muscle quality and mitochondrial function. Third practice, isometric holds. Push against a wall, press your palms together, or hold a squat for 10 seconds. These static contractions activate muscle-building pathways without joint strain. Why does this work? Because these short stressors turn on genes like FOXO and AMPK, which help protect muscle tissue and delay aging when followed by proper rest and recovery. Just start small. Add cold water at the end of your shower. Try a 12-hour fasting window a few days a week. Perform 2 to 3 isometric pushes daily. The goal isn't to suffer, it's to adapt, because the right kind of stress doesn't wear you down. It wakes your strength back up. Here's how you begin. Week 1, eat 25-30 grams of protein at each meal, especially breakfast. Week 2, add short isometric exercises. 5 to 10 second holds 3 times a week. Week 3, get your vitamin D tested and begin smart sun exposure or supplements. Week 4, start light resistance training, even just 2 20-minute sessions per week. These small steps create momentum. Your legs feel lighter. You move with more confidence. You start reclaiming the energy you thought was gone for good. Remember, your body hasn't given up on you. It's just waiting for the right signals. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're just getting started. Now it's your turn. Which of these habits will you start with today? Maybe it's adding more protein to breakfast. Maybe it's that first isometric push against the wall. Maybe it's calling your doctor to check your vitamin D. Whatever it is, take the step. Then come back and tell us what changed. Leave a comment below and share your experience. You never know who else is reading someone who might be struggling like you, or someone who just needs a little proof that change is possible. And if you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button. Not just for another video, but for a weekly reminder that your health, your strength, and your story still matter. We're building a community here, one where growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. It means growing wiser, growing bolder, and yes, growing stronger. So let's keep learning. Let's keep moving. Let's stay strong together.